Hi, I'm taking questions. Uh, Anybody wants to come on tonight and ask me any questions or something like that? We're going to be taking questions tonight and maybe try to answer some questions that some people might have for us. But anyway, so no remorse over Scalia. You can see his ideology going to work right there and just triggers his political instinct, which that, in my opinion, is all that Obama really is a politician who typically will only react and act on a political thing and try to squeeze this in or cram that in as whatever he thinks he is. It sounds like Martin Luther King's nemesis or something like that. Somebody who is definitely a pretender. Somebody who is, in this word I just looked up, I was um, trying to figure out a word I could put into this to give a little bit of the illustration. Is hypocrisy, which is basically, look up hypocrisy. So no mourning over replacement of Scalia. He wants to get another guy in there right away, or hit. They're talking about Lynch, the lady uh, who is uh, uh, Lynch. Yeah, it is Scottish experts Loretta Lynch. She is Loretta Lynch is the Attorney General right now. Is who she is, and Obama wants to cram her in there right now. And I've got more proof in other shows that I have to do another video or whatever presentation for everybody to show that I'm telling the truth and that how serious and for real what I'm telling you really is and how it makes sense. I'll make it in perfect layman terms for you. This is how I speak. I try and funnel in a lot of this big stuff that's going on. I try to funnel it in and out to layman's terms because that's how I generally talk. I don't talk all like a doctor or a professor or anything like that, but I conduct myself in a lot of research and activities that would be, when you say, would be something that those type of people might find themselves doing. Researching plants or studying different things and whatnot. So um, they are going to try to get somebody in there, and they're going to get a Republican or not um, in here as a president again. And like I said, I got another video. I can't do it in this video right here. I told myself not to save it for another uh, portion video, a different video today on exactly how I point out um, what I'm talking about, how um, this all affects everybody, and he's going to put somebody in there. It's going to give a persuasion. Not if you go back and you look at different decisions made and things that are going on, you have to try to consider what's what's common sense to everybody. So we're seeing through that you're going to see step by step the continuation of the debacling of the Constitution. And what I wrote down was I wrote down that it was going to be the destruction of the American individuals born here in the U.S. of A, United States of America, is going to be the destruction of your constitutional rights. And in your face, it's going to be the deconstruction of your constitution when you'll see it right in front of you being taken apart piece by piece, all on lies and based on things that this phony fake Obama guy has told everybody and sworn everybody and said he has our back or whatever. I'd like to see how he would get come out of a hole that he put himself in through all of the lies that he is told in order to get his things accomplished or things in his agenda done or whatever and push his persuasion, which is an ideology. They want to talk about the Republican or the right winger, right nut people's ideology, but here I just want to point out that a lot of it is more common sense. It's like all of us have a family. We all each have a father and a mother. A lot of us have children and people that we sincerely want to look out for, and we don't want to see our society overtaxed and not represented when everybody else has to represent their own countries and their own interests everywhere else. But here in America, we can stomp on the flag, we can burn the flag, and it's really you can't. Here in the states, it's actually against the law. So I don't know how the police have allowed people to get away with that so much. But Civil War on the Brew, um, because if you go back to the Civil War in American history, it was not cowboys and Indians. It was a Democrat idea versus a Republican idea. And at the time, what happened, so I don't know if this is Democrats getting even with America and with the winners of the Civil War were the Republicans and Abraham Lincoln, which I believe that he was a president type of person who didn't misconduct himself and he tried to act for the nation in as best a manner, how you'd say, not being in hypocrisy or whatever that example he was given as moral compass of an example as he possibly could, other than maybe like a war was imminent and had brewed, and it might have been a lot similar to what goes on today in our economy and everywhere else. Is there was all kinds of different wars going on, not just them fighting. What did they say? Fighting over slavery. They were fighting over people, basically from the north had basically um, had created um, a fantastic chain of industries up north, and the South did it. The South was basically what farm uh, territory. So they ended up having tariffs, I believe, and things that they put like taxes on the Southerners um, that made them pretty much get rid of all the stuff that they come up with in the South at like wholesale prices to the people up north so they could be more productive up north. And it caused a big fiasco because the Southerners were sick of being cheated and ripped off. Which really what they should have done is they should have took all of what they had and just separated themselves from the North and then not had a war. Um, if the people, if the North tried to come and reclaim the South or whatever at that point, um, because they could have avoided through secession of themselves from the nation itself to make themselves a second nation, a different nation. They didn't have to necessarily have a civil war, but they hated each other so much they really wanted to kill each other, sort of. So um, that's what happened. The Civil War, when it ended, the South didn't come back to the North for like 6 years or something like that after it was over. So they wasted all of the resources that they could have had, that they could have took and made their own factories and their own industry and everything in the South, and just told the North, hey, go, you know, yourself or whatever, and did it like that. So now I'm just saying, like today, the same thing could happen, but they would, you would leave a hypocrisy, liberal hypocrisy from the left, the Democrats. If you seceded with them being president like that, you would leave Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, and other terrorist types of functions, to just continue to maintain under the Obama administration. That's what I think and what I'm seeing. I think I know. I'm not an idiot. I can see that our enemy is basically, helping Obama, and he's gonna appoint this Loretta Lynch person who is going to be not a biased person, but a racist type of bigoted piece of garbage, just like Obama, who will come out and he'll talk about all these people being bigots and racists and whatever, but he'll he doesn't see himself as being um, you know uh, in the same exact um, place that what he's describing these other people to be. So so we have them come in. They're gonna want to deconstruct our constitution, our constitutional rights and everything, and take them away. And they'll have people argue with you that that's not true, but it is. They have a biased opinion. They're left wing nuts. They will try their hardest to accomplish nothing more than liberal hypocrisy, um, and that's basically, in my opinion, what I believe is, going to possibly make a civil war. Like I said, we can secede, but if you do, you're leaving the basically Washington and all those monuments and everything with, like he's helped build ISIS. Obama has helped his single-handedly in the last eight 8 years almost, has done nothing but cater to the enemy, because they think that that's diplomacy or something, or he's either that stupid or he's one of the terrorists. So I don't know, but anyhow, the next video that I'm gonna do right now, because I can't get it in on this video right here. I have to do another one because of the title. Otherwise, I would have brought it up in here, and that's why I'm doing a separate video. Is going to be ammunition that I'm going to present and give everybody so that you can take it with you like a loaded gun yourself, right? And that's what I was saying. Like, the Supreme Court, I will say this in this video before I go real quick to make that other video to give you guys loaded ammunition whenever you're up against left wing nut jobs. I'll give you one thing in a video next, a couple of things we'll talk about, and then, um, anyways, here it is. The Supreme Court is a weapon, is a loaded gun that shoots actively at on our constitutional rights. threat is a huge threat to our constitutional rights. They take shots at our constitutional rights. They have been guilty of bypassing millions of people in standing votes. I don't even know if these guys can come in and like change the determination of an election. They're that powerful against the power of the people. So, in my opinion, from what I've seen as a strict constitutionalist, I see the Supreme Court's justices, and I'm not sure about. I'd have to go through and see how each 50 states, yes, each 50 different states Supreme Court justices act and how they are, if they stand up for the Constitution or not. Since I'm that strict of a constitutionalist, that I would have to look at each one, carefully investigate to see if they are sticking up for things that are common sense, that is something that the common core of the people would vote for. Because you look at different states that are being kind of forced by government and not by people. You see, like that when they did that to California over gay rights, and then you see in another state, like in the East Coast, they actually have states or places that voted for gay marriage in that place. So here comes the federal government now underneath this guy, and he wants to appoint one more Supreme Court that wants to bring their loaded gun that they're going to shoot constantly, repeatedly at take shots at our constitutional rights, left and right. Yes, they are. Um, like they say, they just force everybody all to to get that done or whatever, and you all are gay rights, marriage, forced on people, and that right there goes into what I was saying. Other ethics are just crap. Is it's a it's a hypocrisy there that these liberal lefties put on all of us, and they're just not telling the truth. They're liars. They're full of crap, and you cannot take uh, something like the Constitution and say, "Oh well, I interpret it this way." The Constitution is basically the same for me as it is for you, as it is for Joe, Schmuck, Telly, all of everybody who is an American citizen. And then you have people who come here and they become sworn citizens. So they're not a natural born citizen, but they're a citizen through another means. They have a constitutional right too. Their constitutional rights can be taken advantage of like that and be threatened like that, and also by them um, trying to make it more feasible, or maybe that's what they're trying to force people to do, to come over here illegally instead of coming here legally, which is basically, I don't know how hard it is to uh, become an American citizen from another country, but you're risking your life and whatever else, smuggling yourself coming here, and you're risking yourself getting caught and being basically put into a file system where they can like give you a certain type of national conviction type of thing and kick you out of the country for a certain amount of time to permanent. So um, Obama and the Democrats are full of it. So these guys are going to take lethal shots at our constitutional rights and what's they consider maybe rights for a minority or somebody because of their color or something like that. They're way off because it's everybody. What one thing that was supposed to make America great about everybody from all around the world being here is that we're all protected underneath those laws and those particular rights that have been fought for and invested and put into each individual. They're going to go after and they're going to do more things and conduct themselves like what does Obama want them to do? Just maybe if Trump gets elected, they go into um, just bulldozing the country with things that Obama wants to do after he's gone, you know? So, I mean, is Obama gonna stay on the phone to make sure all these things keep happening the way that he wants them to happen when they're unconstitutional and they don't represent everybody at as a as individuals or as a country, and it's not going to be the positive way to get America back on its feet or whatever. Whenever you have this incompetency that is basically deliberate, and I can say how deliberate Obama's acts against our nation are, and that he's not really incompetent, and that he knows what he's doing, is by listening to his pre-campaign speeches to become president before 2009. That'll sum it up. That's one thing that'll tell you that he is not just a politician, but a liar, absolute liar. Now I gotta go. I'm ready to make the next video. Let's see if you're a Trump star. If you're a Trump supporter,